Today we are outside of Death Valley National Park near the town of Tecopa, and we're visiting the China Ranch Date Farm. To get to China Ranch, you first drop down into the Amargosa River Valley from the plateau above. You then wind your way through what is by all intents and purposes a well-graded slot canyon road. This terrain is the defining feature of this otherwise harsh and unforgiving landscape. As the story goes, in the 1890s, a Chinese man named Ah Fu came to this canyon from the borax works in Death Valley. He developed a successful ranch raising livestock, hay, fruits, and vegetables to help feed the local silver miners and their draft animals. The Chinaman's ranch became a favorite resting spot with its cool running stream and beautiful trees. In 1900, Ah Fu disappears somewhat mysteriously, though the name has stuck. After many changes of owners and financially unsuccessful ranching attempts over the next 90 years, the current owners began planting young date palms in 1990, then opened China Ranch to the public in 1996. So before we enjoy some delicious date shakes, date bread, and wholesome fresh picked dates, we're going to hike along the Amargosa River. The property was originally purchased as a conservation easement, which means that it was divided into a conservation area, a farming area, and a developed area. This would help to protect the riparian systems and the larger ecological landscape. So what a dramatic landscape this is. All around here are barren badlands where not a single plant grows. And then here at the Amargosa River, you have this long winding river of green that is essentially a riparian oasis for up to 260 species of birds. So in the 1840s, many of the pioneers moving westward, seeking gold in California, used this trail through the Amargosa River and would stop here. And this building apparently is either a paymaster's office, a general store, or possibly a saloon. I think I'd like to think of it as a saloon. Has that feel, doesn't it? So many of those miners in the 1840s who came seeking gold found another type of wealth here in the borax mines. And one of those individuals, a Chinese man by the name of Quan Sing, developed the spring here at China Ranch and started a farm. And now, 150 years later, you have behind me here the China Ranch Date Farm. So this trail through the Amargosa River Valley has seen many a traveler, from Native Americans up to 8,000 years ago crossing the Mojave Desert, to being a Mexican trade route, to at one point being known as the Mormon Road, and then later on as home to the Tonopah and Tidewater Railroad, which hauled borax from Ludlow, California to Beatty, Nevada. Let me show you the remnants of that T&T Railroad. Check that out. Here you can see the raised railway from the TNT. All the steel railing was eventually pulled up during World War II for the war effort. Let's go down and take a closer look. So you can see here the old railroad ties. After the Pacific Coast Borax Company moved from the area in 1927, the TNT resorted to run a Pullman sleeper service to Death Valley in hopes of attracting tourists. But with the economic crash of the Great Depression and the increasing use of automotive travel, the TNT would soon see its final days. So we're about to get our first taste of the Amargosa River. This 185-mile river travels mostly underground, but briefly emerges here outside of China Ranch Date Farm. The date palm is the oldest known cultivated tree crop, dating back to at least 6,000 BC in Mesopotamia, or modern-day Iraq. Like apples, there are many varieties, and they vary widely in taste, size, color, and moisture content. Frequently cited in both the Bible and the Quran, the date palm has long been considered the tree of life in the Middle East. Whoa. Look at that. Doesn't get much better than having a date shake on the farm where those dates are grown. Absolutely delicious. Absolutely. So here's a good example of young dates. These are still not yet dried, of course, but you can eat these as well, and they're quite delicious. And then here you have some more mature dates. You can see underneath here, the brown color, they're starting to dry out. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Artistic Off-Road. We'll see you next time.